So you want to come on here and get your clout for a good 5 minutes of fame. Hopefully you get 2 followers off of what the fuck you're saying to me. Thanks for using me as your content, just like everybody else on this fucking panel. But not everybody else on the panel. I'm sorry. Everybody else. I'm sorry. That was rude. Everybody else on this platform. But go ahead, Will. Have fun with it. Come at me, buddy.
The fucking question, dumb shit, or can you just not like remember the question?
Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for this brand new episode of Hippy Recruitment. Let's go over the rules real quick. So first of all, of course, respect everyone, nothing TOS, respect everyone's identity. And rule number 2, when I speak, no one else speak. Like, this is the rule. If you hear a French accent, you shut the fuck up. Rule number 3, if you want to talk and you see that like the conversation is going, but like you can jump in, raise your hand. I will give you a little thumbs up, and yeah, basically I will try to give you the mic as soon as possible. The format of the show: we got one fun topic, one serious topic, and one fun topic to end. We're gonna have opening statement and closing statement. During the opening and closing, don't interrupt. And I think with that, we're good. Remember to be nice, don't interrupt too much for no reason. And yeah, let's go with a quick round of introduction, and let's start with Drummer. Drummer, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? First of all, how's my volume? Sound good?
Beautiful. So far, so good.
Can I hear it? Thank you. All right, so yeah, I go by Drummer. I have a small YouTube channel where I talk about predominantly current events and politics with an extremely heavy focus on media literacy. So yeah, check it out. My most recent video, I'm pretty convinced, is the best possible conversation on transgender issues on the internet, because everyone else has pretty bad takes about it. So check it out. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to throw it to Gender Juice.
Hey, my mic is on. I thought I muted myself. I am Gender Juice, as you can see. I am on Twitch at GenderJuice_ and on Twitter at AgendaJuice. Haha, it's a shitty pun. It always has been. I usually stream on Twitch nowadays. I used to stream quite frequently, as in frequently I meant like in the afternoons to nighttime. I stream like variety. I talk about random ass shit. I play a lot of different games. I'm very casual, if you couldn't tell. Like, I'm not focused specifically on debate topics and stuff like that, but I do like covering the news. I do have interesting points of view, and I do like talking about things that are very, very uncomfortable to like really accept or like even speak out loud. Like, from your point of view, what if you were wrong? And because I'm typically leftist, that's sort of like where I come out of. I make very uncomfortable leftist voices heard. That's about it. Feel free. Oh yeah, I go by discordant fascist because I like making up ideologies.
All right. CTV, can you mute? We can hear your background sound. Perfect. Lemonies.
Yes, hi everybody. I'm totally new in this space. My background is I'm Arab. That's all I am. And I recently started streaming on Twitch. And I'm kind of here to talk about like topics of Middle Eastern and Arab like culture and history. Kind of introduce people to topics in that area. So nice to meet you all.
Happy to have you on board. Have big takes. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me back on. Thank you, Hippy Dippy crew, for everything you do. Panelists, thank you. Excited to talk to y'all. I'm Half Baked Takes. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch. Let's get this rolling.
Tiberius, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. If anyone doesn't know who I am, I'm Tiberius D. If CTV is the people's champion, then I am the people's nerd, as I studied in political science and economics, and I like to bring together the high quality details to actually like show you how the world kind of works. Don't get me wrong, I don't know everything, but I do like to add what I can to the particular conversation. You can check me out on the Mask Off podcast, or you can check me out on my Twitch and YouTube channel. Appreciate for having me on, and I can't wait to be on the next Hippy Dippy. We were just on Friday, so appreciate to have a veteran here.
Shut up, nerd.
All right, Roman, how are you doing?
Good, hold on.
That's the
I
actual
love
rule.
you so much, man.
It's your boy Robe Man, the man with the plan. All these streamer goofballs are like Krillin. I'm Super Saiyan. I just came off the Chaos Cast, had to spit facts and take out the streamer trash. I'm coming for both belts. Watch your back, CTV. I already paid off Danabo to win the belt in WWE. Let's get this thing popping, baby. Let's go.
All right, Wilderness Channel.
I'm Will. That's it.
Brilliant. And last but not least, CTV.
Pro streamer.
Do you see that look? You see that? This is what you get for starting, Tiberius. Wasn't muted at all. I can be
Taking too damn long, dude. Get on it.
You see that?
No, please, no.
Exactly. We don't want that, do we, geeks? Do we?
Yeah,
See, so now that I have everyone's attention, I am the Hippy Dippy champion, the people's champion, the leader of the wolf pack, the conservative main boss. You want to be something in this space? Need a relationship with the big guy. Danabo. None of y'all were expecting that shit, were you? Exactly! Exactly! And you know what, Road Man, as far as your, I paid off Danabo. Danabo don't get fucking bribe, punk, alright? You gotta learn your way around this motherfucker. Talking about you're coming for a belt. I got a belt for you. You'll hear it when it starts clearing my belt loops, alright? Let your mama know I'll be around for dinner later.
Winky face.
Happy.
And listen, CTV brought a good point. Usually I wait until half show to do this, but yeah, if you're all here tonight, it's because you got an invite from Danabo, who stayed to help my French butt, organizing this show week after week. So yeah, shellshockcbd.com, enter code Danabo, you know the drill. And yeah, go drop him a follow, twitch.tv/Danabo. And with that being said, let's jump straight into the first topic. Streamer Awards 2022. So, what are your thoughts about it? Like, if you have any, do you have any favorite? What do you think about the winners and everything? And let's start with Halfback Tate.
You know, I scheduled it out for my whole week. I had popcorn, I had fucking drinks, I had people over. We got real excited for Lily Pikachu or whatever the fuck her name is to win it. No, I could give two fucks. I assume this is like any award show. It was garbage TV that only garbage people would enjoy, but that's just me.
All right, Lemonies.
Well, I'm happy for the organizers. It seems like it went super well, so that's exciting. I do feel like Chud Logic got robbed in the VTuber category, so that's sad. But other than that, go. That's awesome.
Chud Logic VTuber would be cool. Tiberius.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is one of those things I don't really care about. I'm not much of a spectator when it comes to really anything. It's really hard for me to actually sit down and watch sports, and it's really hard for me to actually sit down and watch other streamers. The only times you'll actually ever usually see me in your chat is whenever I'm on panel with you. So when it comes to a lot of these folks, I've never met them. I don't recognize hardly any names on any of the lists except for like Northern Lion, which, haven't seen that guy in years. Long story short, I don't care because I'm not part of the club.
Yeah, well, Tiberius will definitely spectate going 0 to 100 in a Wolfstang.
True. I will happily do that.
All right. We're in this channel.
You can totally just call me Will if you want. Not a big deal. I watched it live. I think the only reason I watched it was because I know one of the people that was in it. So I was kind of just curious how that went down. But overall, it was really cringy. It was about as serious and as put together as most things that streamers do. Like imagine if you just took your random streamer and you're like, hey dude, now you're in charge of a whole variety show, reward show. Some of the jokes were kind of strange. Yeah, overall it was pretty bad. But the less cynical part of me though is kind of like, this isn't a race to the bottom. And it has a lot of potential and it could be really cool. And hopefully maybe they get some of the politics homies on next year's, which would be pretty awesome. Or that would be kind of a cool addition to it. And yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on it.
All right. Drama.
Hey, well, first of all, we did have a politics streamer represented at those streamer awards. Big man Hassan was there, representing all of Twitch politics. We should be, but no, on a more serious note, I was actually upset when I found out that Dr. Disrespect wasn't nominated for anything. I think the guy's one of the best, so that was like the only unfortunate part. But other than that, I didn't really watch it because again, it's probably more like any other award show, like the Grammys or the Emmys or whatever, where it's just a bunch of like other well-known, really popular people like high-fiving their other well-known, really popular friends, and it's just kind of whatever.
All right. Gender juice.
Well, unlike literally everyone, actually no, this is very unoriginal. Yeah, I was as ambivalent about it as everyone else was, because I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't care. At that point in time, it wasn't just because like it's a whole big event thing, which I never really cared for to begin with. It was more of like I was in the middle of a flight, so I was like, oh, I can put my vote in. And by the end of like my little whole flight escapade, I'm gonna figure out, oh, who's gonna be the person that did win. And actually, looking at the rankings, like post vote, I am not really surprised at like the outcomes for Germa out of all of them. And I'm gonna say it is nice to see like being a streamer sort of celebrated. Like I'm not big enough to even be considered as like 5 degrees even separated close to their echelon of social society. But it is nice to see like politics represented by Hassan and the weird, neat little internet things that like Germa does. Like Germa's Dollhouse is a very extremely out there but unique internet experience that I hope people are now going to get inspired by. And if we're going to look at the economy of this, maybe even sponsor when it comes to like major corporations, if at all they want to take a risk, they can sponsor very interesting streamers and just push the entire community forward in and of itself. Ideally, one day, I just want to be invited because it just looks like a fun time to be there. A little gala, a little party, you know. It reminds me of the after performance the fucking meetups that we used to have after a band performance or like a band trip, you know. But that's my take on it. Yeah, it's pretty meh, but it is nice and it's a thing that should be celebrated.
All right. Roman.
The Twitch streaming awards. If you're watching Twitch streaming awards on a Saturday night, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, that sounds silly. The only thing that should be awarded is, all these goofballs want to get up on some award show and get congratulated, like the fucking Zoomer mentality everybody has now. They all have to get a fucking award just for everything they do. Cool, good for you. CTV, the belt that you're gonna take off your boot, what the fuck you call it? Your belt loop. Yeah, you can take that off, your little fucking My Little Pony belt you got over there. That's fine. Cool. Have fun with that. Next year's Streamer Awards, I'm winning Best Looking Twitch Streamer. I'm winning Best Twitch Streamer. I'm winning Best Up and Coming Twitch Streamer. I'm winning the Most Sober Twitch Streamer on Twitch. I'm winning the Best Dog on Twitch. I'm winning pretty much every award that they have on Twitch. I'm gonna fucking win, because really, when I look around on Twitch, all I see is goofball. You know what? What was your name again? Lemony. I'm glad you brought up Chud Logic, because Chud Logic deserves to win nothing. The only thing he deserves to win is a first class ticket to fucking Loserville, because that's where he belongs. He's a goofball. All he does is react to content that everybody else makes. I'm sick and tired of these Twitch streamers who have no content. All they do is watch other people's content and go, oh, let's make fun of them for 3 hours. That's my take. Suck my dick.
All right.
No, thanks.
CTV.
You see that? Best dog award on Twitch. Her name is Zelda. She's my princess. Now,
Aw.
down Zelda. There you go. All right.
You look like Link.
Well, I'm sorry. Did I talk during your statement? No, I didn't. Amazing. Now, Streamer Awards. I'm sorry, they were holding an event, right? There's only one event that I'm aware of that actually fucking mattered, and that's who won the Hippy Dippy Championship fucking belt. Streamer Awards? Give me a fucking break. That just sounds like a B tier fucking list for, elitist losers that clearly get off on, jerking each other off. Like, what is that? Right? What is that? It's like, I'm so far removed from the dumb shit, right, that I'm sitting over here in the ring waiting for a worthy contestant, and I'm looking around. Still fucking waiting. So, if they're having some award show for streamers, and it didn't include the Hippy Dippy Champion, I'm just going to go ahead and say that it wasn't even an award show worth validating. Right? So, that's about the way it is.
True. And with that being said, you can engage.
All right. I want to quickly circle back to the Hippy Dippy Championship.
Did you say circle back? Are you
Yeah, we're
fucking
circling.
me, Jinsaki?
Hey man,
Straight out, you want to circle back?
look. All right, you began with this, and we can circle back that far, or just a few moments ago. But there's gonna be a circle implanted in there somewhere. All right, we got to make these loops
Fucking
happen.
Lord.
But
Can
speaking
we get a
of loops,
corkscrew? Not just loops, but I want a corkscrew in this fucking roller coaster you're about to take me on, okay?
baby, it's gonna be a twist. All right. Anyways,
Let's go.
heading back. Like these little events, not just like the whole streaming awards, but like the Hippy Dippy Championship, like these ranking and hierarchical event showcases that we have with the Hippy Dippy. That's like, how often does it happen? Like the championship, like once a month, or once every other month, like on and off. But like these events, people tune in for, and they challenge themselves to make their content and quality better to eventually be invited on. Wouldn't you say? Like CTV. Think about it. All the people that were previously not on the Hippy Dippy channel to begin with now want to strive not only to get onto the Hippy Dippy not championship, but like the rumbles. They also now want to push themselves even further, go above and beyond. And after the Hippy Dippy Championship, what do you go after that? The only thing left is like something as ephemeral as the Streamy Awards, all right? And the content there itself isn't really encapsulated by just one specific category of politics, debates, rhetoric itself. It's random ass shit like event streams. You can't really define an event stream, but think about it, you can actually nominate like the Hippy Dippy Championship as an event stream and Dylan Burns as an event streamer. There's, again, broader categories and categories that they can just implement. Like, let's be honest here, there's like the whole bathtub streaming meta, but there's also ASMR. You could also just say there's a lot of fetish streamers, which when you're on Twitch long enough, you're going to find fetish streamers.
I want to bring it back to the topic of like streaming awards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
I was waiting for this fucking circle to actually circle back, but it looked like the motherfucker went up the trailblazing through the mountains.
Go into a corkscrew.
Where's he going?
I went into a nose drop.
Does anybody, CTV, real quick, my bad, does anybody know how many people actually watch this fucking thing?
Losers.
100 some odd thousand at one time.
Wasn't it like
okay.
fifth
Good for
largest
them.
stream?
I mean, shit, they're doing. I mean, if they're getting views, then let them do it. I just think it's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
You know, this is the problem with it.
Wait, Lemony, go ahead, and after that, Roman.
No, I was just saying that, yeah, it was massive. Wasn't it like the fifth largest broadcast, like when it was on? It's crazy.
So this generation, these 20-year-olds, these young kids, they're having the least amount of sex in history, and that's because of shit like the streamer fucking award show, dude. People are sitting at home watching Twitch, sitting on Discord, fucking paying money to some ASMR bitch who's got 10,000 viewers.
Yeah,
Hey!
yeah, well,
I'm sorry. Was that rude?
Yeah.
A little too much.
Why was
Yeah,
that? Why
let's
was
avoid
that?
this type of shit. Let's try to stay
Get
like
it. Fucking dudes can be bitches too, right?
Yeah, look, I'm not saying like all I'm saying is
I could be an ASMR bitch right now. You see that?
No. I'm putting
you assume it's a woman? You
assume.
you just assume the gender? Did you assume?
All right.
I think that's
When
exactly
I
what happened.
speak, when you hear a fucking French accent, no one else speak. Last time of the show, French. All right. Just wanted to precise. I don't care about like gender and everything. We avoid it. This becomes the B word from now on, and it's of the book. Anyway, we'll bring it back to the show. And who wants to talk? Raise your hand. All right, Robman.
Okay, so like I was saying, this generation, they're not having sex, they're watching streamers all day. And I was watching someone who does ASMR. All they do is suck a mic for 2 hours and get paid more money than I'm ever going to make in my entire life. That's where society is at today, kids. Thanks, Joe
Were
Biden.
you just doing Roadman? Were you just doing research during that stream, or why were you tuning in?
Why was I tuning in? Because I sit here and I work hard. I make a sign. I go to Michael's. I buy a chalkboard. I buy the fucking letters. I do hard work, labor. This girl goes,
You could have had sex in that time
hold on,
period.
I'm not done. Let me finish. She goes on the mic all day and she gets $14,000. Okay. And I'm over here. I gotta bring my wife in here and offer to clip her toenails and send them to people on the internet just so I can pay my mortgage. It's ridiculous.
Well, people are willing to pay, Roadman. People are willing to
Sounds
pay,
like you're in
right?
the wrong line of work, Rogue.
Just shows how low quality your content is. That's not something you should flex.
Yeah, there's real good quality content on Twitch these days, huh? Let me watch other people's stream
I mean,
for 3
if
hours
it's
and talk
bad
about
quality, it's
who
bad
they are.
quality. It just doesn't. It just needs to be better than yours to be more successful. You know, there's
wait,
a lot of content that's better than mine. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I have a question. So those ears that they use for ASMR, was that made specifically for ASMR, or do they have like a different purpose? Illuminate me, please.
Oh, I'm a super nerd when it comes to like microphones and stuff. So I'll if you don't mind. So those microphones are called binaural microphones, and the silicone ears on them are molded after like an actual person's ears. So they mimic the way that sound travels into your head. So it actually will sound like you'll be able to pick up like spatial sounds. So if they're further away from the microphone, it'll actually sound further away, or if they're behind you, if you're wearing headphones, it'll actually sound like it's behind you. So there's like much more. They're not just for ASMR, they're for doing like, nature recordings
Geek.
and stuff like that.
Let's turn this into an ASMR stream.
Are they made to suck on?
The whole script, geek.
It's the earpiece is just a cover, like it's not the actual microphone. So you could,
But you can suck on it, like you can put your mouth on it, and it's cool.
if you really wanted to, you could. I
Roadman,
guess
really
there's
interesting.
a lot of things you can suck on if you really try hard enough.
Did y'all just see what just happened?
I just
Nothing's
wanted to throw out
unstoppable.
there that like the topic is the streamer what?
Yeah. I was just curious if anybody else saw what just happened there, right? That was a clear example of a chance for someone proclaiming themselves to be the people's nerd to actually step up and be the people's nerd. But it certainly seems obvious to me that drummer 122YT is in the lead right now for the people's nerd with that microphone ASMR explanation. I'm just saying.
You're welcome.
But
Sorry, Tiberius. You got pushed off your throne, big dog.
Just give it time. Just give it time.
Really quick. Do we assume that because you have a stream, like an award show that gives you some credibility, do you think that's why they did this? They're trying to create this like veneer of credibility behind streaming?
What
You know
do
what's
they
gonna
have done
happen?
to make you guys like the award show?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What could have changed? Like, what could have the award show been that you guys would have all come in today and been like, "Oh yeah, this shit was
Fight to
awesome."
the death. Watching.
I think
fight.
I think if they took-
Logic to the death.
Yeah, I think if they took all the
gets executed.
if they took all the streamers at the award show, put them on a plane and sent them to Ukraine, that would be a good show.
No, I don't want a death battle with like actual end goals. No, I want like the death battle for death battle's sake. I just want to put them all. I want this to be Survivor, but like on the most literal level, where it's like Fortnite IRL. You know, you gotta find the materials. They're all trying to kill each other. We all have a vote. It's a whole shenanigan fun time. All right.
You guys do realize.
No, hold up. I think Gender Juice hit a $1 million idea. I think instead of the streamer awards, it's literally just the old Survivor TV show with streamers. So just get everyone in there and give them like random outdoor survivalist tasks to do. Because I would love to see someone like XQC try to like make a fire by rubbing two sticks together. I'd be wildly entertained by that.
With a bunch of other
I would love to see Hassan try to build a boat and like get off the island.
So like Survivor.
And like hold his Porsche hostage and be like, look, you get off the island, you get your Porsche back. If not, it goes to one of your viewers. Though we have to verify their yearly income before you get it. It has to be below at least 40K, and they can get the Porsche.
Yeah, straight up. If they made that like a live stream event, that would be so fucking cool. And they could just raise the money for like whatever. In this case, it could just be like the war in Ukraine. They could fundraise for that to just like house all the people that are being displaced. But like these events, like, yeah, sure, there are different types of showcase events that are going on, and this one just happens to be not a Survivor-based one. Yeah, like, again, everybody has their own preference, and this just is the most simple and the most practical, but there are better ones that we all just seem to want to happen, for the shits and fucking giggles.
The funny thing to me is that like society is about 3 years away from collapsing because we have these streamer awards. Gas is $7 a gallon, and we're over here giving fucking awards to somebody who sucks on a microphone for 5 hours. You know what I mean? Like, have fun.
Where the hell is gas? Pump that oil. Have that man that's sucking on the mic pump the oil.
Baked, you have got to turn that gain down, dude. Fuck off with that shit. All right, the second thing here is that where in the hell is gas $7 a gallon? Like, don't get me wrong, it's hit 4 here.
California.
Okay, that's your own damn fault.
All right.
I'm sorry.
I think we got away. I think we got away far enough from the topic to move on to the next one.
Yay!
All right, so really short closing statement. Lemonies.
I think it's probably really chill. I didn't see it, to be honest, because none of the streamers that were in it I really care about. So, but I mean, whatever makes them happy, I don't know.
All right, drama.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's for the fans. Like, I'm sure there's some, like, 14, 15-year-old kid who was just, like, thrilled to death when his favorite streamer won. So, that's fine. It's kind of cringe for people, I guess. But all in all, like, no harm, no foul. I'd rather see them on a Survivor-esque show and see them try to make fires and cook meat and things.
Hell yeah.
All right, gender juice.
So yeah, I feel like my point still stands. Survivor is the best way to do it, but in the end, honestly, this is just really good for cross-pollination of mainstream audiences. Like, again, consider it. There might just be people that were never into politics, but just want to know what the fuck Hassan's whole deal was. Why is he so big? Or people that are into ASMR now getting into these weird-ass streams, like Germa streams, or like, I don't know, fucking League of Legends. May God fucking rescue their souls. But yeah, there's like more to it than just the event itself that the event itself accomplishes.
All right, have baked takes.
Real quick, is the gain better?
Yes.
Okay, my bad. I apologize to the panel and the audience. I don't really have anything to say about this. I have made all my points. Good for them though, for getting like 100,000 people to watch that shit.
Listen, I just want to say with infrared, I feel like boosted gain is the new meta on Twitch. So yeah, I don't pay attention anymore. Roman.
I'm just happy that Twitch is providing some good bread and circus for today's youth. So while their future is crumbling in front of their eyes and they have no pretty much any type of like life to live coming forward, there's going to be no jobs. They're going to be paying $11 a gallon of gas. At least they can be happy for the fact that Hassan won best streamer of the fucking year or whatever the fuck. Who cares? Yeah, have fun. Good job.
Will?
I think that a lot of the people on this panel are mad. They would love to be a part of some kind of reward show. If anybody gave you a ticket and free ride, free hotel, open bar, all of you would fucking go. Don't even
Yeah,
try to
100%.
bullshit.
Open bar.
It's like
open
the
bar.
Met
That's not
Gala.
Yeah,
fair,
there's an
Will.
open bar there.
Will,
So
I
My life's an open
I'd go
bar.
Anywhere for an open bar, Will.
All right.
anyway, my ending statement. Roman, you're gonna partake in this bitch for the next 2. Oh, sorry, I said the word. You're gonna partake in this panel for the next 2 hours with us. I presume you're not gonna be fucking anybody for those 2 hours. So I cut out with that shit too. It's just stupid.
I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. What does that mean? Fucking? What is it? Wait, what?
Rewind the VOD, everyone.
Tiberius, go.
Yeah. Long story short, this shit's for the peasants. If you guys want to view and you guys are like, oh, I love this person or that person, that's great. But number one is that if you want to actually do something, get involved. You can be a streamer with literally 5 years, but you'll do more than sitting around just watching somebody. The other side of that is if you want a real show, you can check out the Mascot Podcast tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Tiberius.
I like this move. CTV, welcome back. We're doing closing statement on this topic. Real short. What's your take?
Yeah. Let's see. Like I said before, right? Any streamer awards that doesn't include the Hippy Dippy Champion isn't an actual fucking streamer award. It's just not, right? Hippy Dippy's been around for what? Hell, we're going on fucking 2 years now anyway. Damn it, son. This is a fucking empire, right? And you know what empires need? Good fucking leaders. And you know what you got up here at the top of the Hippy Dippy Movers and Shakers fucking organization? Good fucking leaders. Representative of all sides of politics. Yeah. Yeah. That's what is happening around here. Good folks, good vibes, good entertainment. And we know how to fix shit on the fly. Like I just had this whole issue with OBS. We fucking know shit. We make shit happen. We may sound simple, but we're waiting for you to mistake that for weakness. That's what we're waiting for. Because when you make that mistake, that's when you get fucked up. And that's my take on these dumbass streamer awards.
All right. With that being said, I just wanted to thank you all once again for being here. So for everyone in everyone's chat, go follow our wonderful panelists, the links of pretty much everyone is in my chat too. So yeah, go check out our wonderful people in the wonderful people in this panel. And also support Danabo, without who this panel wouldn't have happened. So yeah, twitch.tv/Danabo. And yeah, go follow our panelists. Let's jump right into the main topic, which is basically the role of social media in Ukraine, during the war in Ukraine. So we've brought more recently you get the example of basically Facebook loosening their rules when it comes to death threats. We can also talk about the fact that Twitter was literally a fucking nightmare it's still a fucking nightmare. You can see dead bodies and shit like this. Whatever aspect you feel is important or you want to bring during this, feel free to bring it. Let's start with Tiberius.
Oh, cool. This is going to be fun. Sorry. What I think is going to be just the general role here, and I'm going to outline this in 3 different ways. Number one is that what do I think it's actually just going to do for everybody? It's going to be up to the people themselves. It's going to be the platform users. Some people are going to use it for a narrative means because they want to further an agenda. Some people are going to be using it just for basically content. They're going to be like, oh, hey, did you see this thing? We've seen numerous streamers do this for the last couple days. Just here's the video feed. Here's the photos. Here's the quotes on the ground, like this amateur reporting bullshit, right? The other side of that is that what do I want? I think it's very good to tell a story. Obviously, if you want to know what's going on from people who are actually there, I love social media for that. But it's also incredibly dangerous because it is basically open to anyone's cyber intentions. You can see somebody, it's like, oh, I'm actually here, but they're 100 miles away and, they're only, helping out. Long story short, at least for me, is that I don't have an agenda with this one, but I do find it interesting to sit back and watch what everyone's doing.
All right. Will.
Yeah. got some thoughts on this thing. I kind of took kind of like the main prompt and broke it into 3 pieces. I just think maybe it's more better to talk about it in that way. So basically, like, what is social media's role in the conflict? What is its impact? And what do you think the response from the social media platforms? What do you think about it? I think the role of the social media platforms currently is kind of similar, actually, to like what General Patton's photos were that we took or that he took during the concentration camps and of the people that were liberated. Social media in 2022 is kind of serving to like immortalize this conflict forever, and it's kind of scary that we're all seeing it basically live on our Twitter feeds, and with the Disney TikTok voice. It's just ridiculously dystopian. I think the impact is kind of yet to be known. I personally consider myself kind of a tech-savvy, news-savvy kind of person, and I find myself even having a really hard time navigating this news world because I just feel like I'm bombarded from every news source, every social media thing. It's a bit of a crapshoot. And then how do I feel about like them changing the rules, right? I kind of think that the reality is that they should keep the rules the same. But I wonder if you're in a country like Ukraine, right? If you're Ukrainian in Ukraine and you spread anti-Russian war propaganda, is that really hate speech? You know, that's kind of where I kind of come at that from. And I think that's why it's it's good that they relieved, or loosened their rules for these countries specifically. But I think they could have just kept the rules even in place and just justified it by saying like, this isn't a hate crime right now because they're at war with each other.
All right. Have baked takes.
So I think this being one of the first major conflicts we've seen that we're able to document through social media, it's showing like the power of propaganda, how when used in the right way, it can it can gin up all this like excitement and this positive reinforcement for a country like we've seen for Ukraine. But you can also see the negatives of it where the Russians are using the exact same thing to spread misinformation to the world and to their people. I think it comes down to are these social media companies like responsible for like what's being spread on their platform? And my position will remain consistent on this. I don't think it's the social media site's responsibility to determine what is misinformation or disinformation, what's good information, what's bad information, what's with context or without context. This is a conversation that we've had for a long time, but is getting like amplified now because of the Russian Ukrainian conflict. And again, this just shows the limits that these social media sites have, and we should acknowledge those limits and probably not expect them to be the arbiters of truth, especially when it comes to like a military conflict.
All right, I'm going to throw it to Lemonies.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I disagree half-baked takes. I think it's kind of like wrong to say that this is the first time we experience this from the social media companies, because a really, really big part of why the Arab Spring became so kind of so all over the place was because of Twitter and because of Facebook and so on. So I think we have experienced this before, just in general, and I think overall it's been a good thing. It's been a good thing to like see what is happening on the ground. That's kind of like what we saw in Syria, for instance. It made people realize like, okay, Bashar al-Assad is actually a really horrible person, and he's doing this to his population. And we're able to kind of like experience that again, so it's not completely new. When it comes to, that's like one point. When it comes to, is it Meta? No, yeah, it's Meta that's saying like, if there's like violent rhetoric targeted towards, let's say like the Russian army or Putin or whatever, that's going to be okay. I think that's super short-sighted. I think that's kind of stupid, because first of all, what just practically, like how are you even going to make that work? Are you going to have like moderators like first determine, okay, like this is coming from this country, Moldova, and it's only targeting like Russian military people and not anything else. So yeah, I think it's kind of stupid. And also the fact that you're letting, or we would be okay with a social media platform kind of choosing who's the good and bad guys. We agree that the Russians might be the bad guys in this case, but like, what about in a future conflict? So yeah.
All right, I'm going to throw it to Joma.
Sure. So I'll talk about the death threats thing, I guess, first. Dare I say it's a slippery slope. Like unironically, if you're going to sit and take this huge stance and change an extremely specific part of your terms of service, your conduct rules, and now you're going to say, well, okay, if you're in these specific countries, you're allowed to make death threats, but only against the Russian military or like government leadership. But I could almost guarantee that if I picked out a specific soldier in the Russian military and made a death threat against them, they would say, well, now that gets into a weird space, right? So I think they're setting themselves up for future issues if they just make this one exception. Now you could, are you make further, how many more exceptions do you make down the road? Like Lemony said, other conflicts, other issues, off of on Meta's website, the example they give of quote unquote allowable death threat is, I think the sentence they give is like a terrorist should die, right? Well, as someone who lived very close to New York City after 9/11, there were a lot of people who were like super racist who would make the statement that like, well, all Arabs are terrorists. So therefore, if that person, this hypothetical person, said, oh, terrorists should all die, like, well, they're probably talking about something different. And then you have to get into like these really deep in the weeds rationalizations of what the people are saying. So I think it sets you up for failure in the long run when it comes to making exceptions for these policies like that.
All right. Gender juice.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. All right. So my whole perspective on this is, long story short, when I was in high school, I did a whole paper on secondary, non-mainstream sources of information and how it sort of demonstrates a change when it comes to a civil event or an event that causes a lot of social change. In this case, let's say that event is Ukraine. And in this case, we can consider social media something that is like a non-mainstream source. And what we can use social media for is collecting a lot of first-person or like first-hand encounters with not only Ukraine and what's going on in Ukraine and what it's like to be a Ukrainian in that situation, but also in some cases what it's like to be a Russian citizen through this whole entire event. Like there's some good information that we can collect, like how it's negatively affecting the mentalities of these two groups, but it also has a lot of negative externalities that we don't really focus on. Like, consider this. When I was in Pakistan, yeah, there was a whole Ukraine situation going on. But would that be my main concern when, like, a few days later, there was a attack in Peshawar, a mosque? This was on Friday, so the mosque would be packed. And it was at a Sunni mosque. It was a very open hate crime. It was an explosion, if I'm correct. 50 people were injured, 30 people were presumed dead. This terrorist attack, this probably didn't make it into like the mainstream conversation or even like in the Western hemisphere of like general discourse. It would just be very isolated to one day in Pakistan, which, I mean, when you're living there just an hour out from the city that was attacked, you're gonna be paranoid, terrified, and everything. I, at that point, did not give any shits about what's going on in Ukraine. I hate to say it, but like now that I'm back here, I'm keeping up with like the news overall, and it seems like we're talking a lot more about Ukraine than these minuscule quote unquote incidents that have happened in other countries. So my main, like what I'm trying to get at is that you're supposed to take away that when you get into an international conflict and use social media specifically, there's a lot of the world that you might unintentionally be ignoring. That might also be local events that are very, like, just much more important to you as an individual. And social media sort of just like muddles that up with the sheer amount of information that it gives out and how frequently this information updates, so on and so forth. But like when it comes to, I guess, censorship and that whole aspect of this, I feel like it doesn't really matter. Like, by censorship, I mean it doesn't matter if a person is censored to a certain degree. Like, if you can't use certain words, yeah, that's fine. It's not the word that you're trying to express in the end, it's really the idea. So as long as you can express the idea of that, be like frustration, anger, hatred, that's fine. You're not trying to ban a concept, but you're just trying to ban a method to which you're achieving that concept, so it's not as destructive. Like your frustrations with Russia, if you're a Ukrainian living in Ukraine, you would want to express that idea. I think it's still good to be like, yeah, you shouldn't say death threats. You shouldn't like be doxing individuals and like their families, like that extreme, weird, creepy schizo shit. But like, yeah, you understand what I'm trying to get at here. And that's my point.
All right, Roman.
So like the way social media is being used is very interesting to me because Russia and the Ukraine situation, it's funny how social media has made it so that we can take a subject, and the way that social media is, there's bots, there's so many ways to fake a real person on social media. So right now, it's funny how COVID just disappeared from the narrative, and now because of social media, people aren't getting their news from the mainstream news, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but people are just going, okay, what's everybody talking about? Now it's Ukraine and Russia, and it's funny because the Ukraine-Russia conflict, it is so interesting to see how Russia has become the boogeyman. They are evil. They are a James Bond villain in this whole conflict. I'm not saying they are right in what they're doing, but I'm saying in a war, every side has its own reasons for doing what it's doing. There is no right and wrong. There is a middle ground, which is a gray area. And for people to sit here and say that Russia is 100% this evil empire and this and that, it just rubs me a wrong way. I'm not informed enough to know if they are this big evil thing, but I get really nervous when every aspect of society, the social media route, the mainstream media, CNN, all these other big mainstream media conglomerates are trying to tell me that Russia's bad, Russia's a terrible thing, and I think it is a government's wet dream, the propaganda that they can push using social media these days, in a sense that all I got to do is get 200 bot accounts with a bunch of pictures that look like they're real people, post a bunch of shit, and everybody thinks that is what the populace is actually thinking. And me as a government can just hire a bunch of bot farms and make you the person think that is what the okay thing to think. Just like COVID, the okay narrative was, oh, this is what we have to think. If you go against this, you are uninformed, you're a conspiracy theorist. It's going to happen like this for the next 10 years. This is why I'm telling you this is a collapse of society, because people are stupid. Most people are uninformed. Most people go to their job 9 to 5, they get home, go on Facebook, look up memes for 2 hours, and determine their political takes based off of whatever meme they think is right and whatever has the most likes and whatever is not going to get them ostracized from their water cooler talks. That's my take.
All right.
Roman?
Wait. CTV.
Pass on me for Nagi.
You're the last one.
Okay, hot take. I've been distracted.
All right. Okay. In that case, let's jump right into this.
The people's champion, everybody. I love you, CTV.
Hey, the people were distracted at this moment as well. You can't blame them, all right? But Will, you had something?
Roman, are you partaking in the collapse of society by just being in this panel with us at this very moment?
Yes.
You bitched about people being uninformed in the same statement that you said you were uninformed, Roadman.
No, I'm uninformed on the
you answer
the
my question, Roadman?
because Will. We'll get to you later. We'll get to you and your
He
takes
asked
later, bro.
first.
To me first.
Listen, Will.
motherfucker. I asked you the
Will.
question first.
Listen, Will. My Discord's been blowing up all week with you been fucking posting these notifications,
It's the
dude.
boss.
I can't go out to dinner without you fucking blowing up my goddamn Discord. Why don't you
Listen,
take
we
a
can
break
talk
on the
about that.
Discord?
We can talk
Okay,
about that at a
anyways,
different
I'm
time.
not
Get to my
done,
question,
bucko.
okay?
I'm not done, bucko. Let me finish. So, as you were saying, you think I'm participating in the collapse of society by being on this panel. I don't even remember what you said. What you said was so boring and so goofy that I don't even remember what just came out of your mouth. You're going to be talking from here, and in a week, I'm not even going to remember what the fuck you said. So you want to come on here and get your clout for a good 5 minutes of fame. Hopefully you get 2 followers off of what the fuck you're saying to me. Thanks for using me as your content, just like everybody else on this fucking panel. But not everybody else on the panel. I'm sorry. Everybody else. I'm sorry. That was rude. Everybody else on this platform. But go ahead, Will. Have fun with it. Come at
Can you
me,
answer
buddy.
the fucking question, dumb shit, or can you just not like remember the question? I took
He
about
doesn't
10
remember.
seconds
I think
before
you
you
need to
answered.
restate it.
Go ahead. Reframe the question,
are you
buddy.
partaking, a Roadman, are you partaking in the collapse of society by partaking in this panel with us currently?
No, I'm just calling it out.
Okay, can we go back to the topic, please? I'm going to throw it to anyone else who wants to engage with the point.
I mean, what point? At what point?
Okay.
Lemonies.
All right, so basically, have big take, go.
Yeah, okay. So, Lemonies, you said you disagreed with the sentiment that I put in my opening statement. What necessarily did you disagree with? Because you ended up just making my point that these social media sites probably aren't able to like determine who is the arbiter of truth, right? So we shouldn't expect them to be that. And by creating TOS that kind of like tries to do that, we should probably call them out on it, right?
Yeah, no, I think the only thing I disagree with you on is the fact that you said this is the first time we're experiencing something like this. Yeah.
My bad. I said one of the first time. Like, there's the Arab Spring. We obviously have like a good portion of Afghanistan. There have been civil wars that have been raging in Africa for decades. Like, I'm not saying that this is the first one that we're experiencing with social media. However, I would love for anybody to argue that this is not the most covered conflict since the social media age began.
Well, I guess it depends on the point of view, right? Like, I guess from a European point of view, yeah, it's been covered more than anything else, right? But I don't know. I'm just talking from a point of view of a country or countries that don't have freedom of speech, that don't have free press. And in that instance, it's been really amazing that you have a platform like Twitter that kind of lets you tell your truth and speak against the dictators there.
I agree wholeheartedly, 100%. And this is why the Arab Spring was so successful. Like, we saw these like small groups of people able to like band together and like be able to like reach out and grow through social media. And obviously these are positives, and I don't want to take this away, but it does seem like these social media sites are making an active attempt to silence some portion of people. And whether that be Russians or people who are promoting like Ukrainian propaganda or whatever it may be, I just don't know how it's the social media site like responsibility to determine that.
Yeah, no, I see your point. I mean, it is really, really hard to figure out like what is their responsibility. To me, I just see it as like this is a platform where this kind of stuff is possible to do. But also it's kind of tricky, right? Because after the Arab Spring happened and after stuff like that happened, we had like a huge, like a lot of misinformation and fake news, I guess like around the time of Brexit, right? So like, yeah, it's a tricky one for sure.
When you say fake news though, like what do you mean? Because like who's determining what is this fake news? Because again, a lot of these examples of misinformation or disinformation end up being things that are just their stats or their facts without context. And then it's
Right.
like, well, shit, that's not misinformation. That may just be like how you're interpreting it. So this boils down to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, whoever the fuck is making these new TOS, this new TOS, they are trying to create a world where they are the ones that know the truth. And if you don't agree with it, you're getting fucking yeeted off their platform.
I think there's like things that are objectively true. Like if you have a picture and someone posts something and says, "Oh, look at this picture. It's from Ukraine yesterday." And then it turns out, no, it's actually from, I don't know, Russia 10 years ago or something like that. I mean, I think stuff like that is pretty blatantly like misinformation, fake news, right?
Well, I don't really care if it is. Like, it, to be honest, yes, it probably is fake news, but that fake news could be being used for some fucking covert operation that like people are trying to do in Ukraine or something. It just like there are so many things that could be behind a person's post or whatever that I'm really not trying to determine what their intentions were when they posted it. I don't think you can determine that.
I think
So
he's
you're
saying, like,
essentially
sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I think he's just saying, like, how does any reasonable person figure out if it's real or not?
I mean, you're gonna have to go figure that out on your own, right?
I mean, like,
Isn't that what we're all tasked to do?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, to some degree, like, you have to admit, like, there are things that are sort of objectively wrong, but when it comes to like platforms, like social media platforms being the arbiter of truth, usually how it goes is it's not like they're going to get involved with every minor, minuscule account that's posting false information that are being spammed, because that's usually what bots do. They are small accounts that just spam the exact same sort of like image, rhetoric, blah, blah, blah. And that's like the thing that usually causes misinformation. But the thing that most people that are just like concerned about when it comes to seeing it in media is the mainstream voices. And the mainstream voices are usually just like conglomerated, have enough like political or social influence to like demonstrate a substantial change for a lot of people. Like if their opinion changes, so do a lot of people's. And if you can stop the misinformation there, then that usually is a net benefit, because at least they're not spreading some obviously fake shit. And you're gonna probably say like, well, what can we determine is the arguably fake shit? And yeah, to some degree, we really can't know what that is. Like if there is rumors of, let's say, Russia now invading another country, let's say, I don't know, fucking Mongolia, that's like nearby, and they're now expansionist, and that's just a rumor. For all we know, that could be actual fake and misinformation. But that's not what we're concerned. That's not what we're concerned about. What we're concerned about is like pretty obvious stuff that's going to endanger people in the short term. Like when it comes to fake, what's it called? Fake extractions. Like, oh, go to this area. You're gonna be safe. They're gonna get you the help you need. They're gonna get you out of the country. But plot twist, it was actually a misinformation campaign, and all the people over there just essentially wasted their time when they could have been getting the help that they actually needed, maybe getting water, maybe getting shelter, or maybe it's just something a random person made up one day. Sometimes it's not even something that has malicious intent. Maybe it's just a game of telephone. But let's just move somewhere else, like outside of Ukraine, for an example of something that did happen pretty recently. So as we know, in Canada, just like a month back, there was a whole Ottawa trucker protest, blah, 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 whatever you fucking want to call it. And then there was this one photo going around that was of what appeared to be a person getting trampled by a horse. when you actually do a reverse image search on it, you find out that that image isn't actually the true image. It was an edited copy. If you can find the actual photographer, which I have somewhere saved on my phone, the actual image of it does not demonstrate the actual trampling of a person. And that is something we can easily prove to be misinformation. So it's fair to say that that shouldn't be put up when it leads people to the wrong idea and is intrinsically built off of a foundation of lies. The malicious intent might be there, might not be there, who knows? But in my opinion, who really cares when what you're trying to do is regulate it so people get the most accurate information in the end. And it's obviously not the role of a social media company to be truthful and not to be honest, but it's to express what is most profitable for the platform itself. And if we as consumers can argue that it's more profitable to be honest and to keep the information we get true, then don't you think, like, in the end, if they can find a way, it's a good thing? That's all I have to say.
Drama.
Sure. So, unfortunately, we kind of people have sort of touched on this a lot. That it's alleging it like the larger conspiracy of, well, okay, if Ukraine is the biggest thing and everyone's literally talking about it, well, is that, are we missing other issues? Whatever. Well, the problem is a lot of these organizations are for-profit companies. They're going to do what the most searched for thing is, and they're not making up the war in Ukraine. They're responding because on Google that month, Ukraine versus Russia is skyrocketed to the top of the search terms, not because they forced it. It's because average people typed shit into Google, and then Google said, hey, this is what's really popular. So unfortunately, it's like a sad reality that, the bombing of a mosque in Pakistan is going to go fly under the radar because not as many people are searching, hey, have there been any bombings in Pakistan recently? There probably are some people. I can imagine if I were to go to Google right now and type in recent bombing in Pakistan, I would very, very easily find an article about that event. Is it going to be front page in my face? No, but chances are it's just not searched for as often. There's often times where, yes, you can blame a social media, but you can also blame users as well, because we interact with that. And like the way the algorithms on Facebook, at least I know, work, like it can track how long you look at a particular slide. So if you're viewing something, even if you don't click like or comment, whatever, it still tracks that and recognizes it. So it's going to show you more and more of these things. So the best way to beat the algorithm on that, scroll faster. Like, just don't look at things as long. But yeah, if you want to talk about what is true, what's not, what are we looking for with that? Like, unfortunately, you just have to have good media literacy, and you have to actually like read more about a topic and look into it and actually seek out other opinions. And are people going to do that? No, I'm not assuming everyone's going to do that, because most people aren't. But unfortunately, I can't educate every single human on the earth. So that's just how it is. It's like a sad fact of life that you just have to like learn to deal with.
So I think the best role for social media is to basically be the world's posting board, and honestly to try to moderate this as little as possible, and to just let the rest of us try to use our best judgment to figure it out. Because even like what's his name? I'm sorry, the half-baked guy. He's right. Like there could be posts from 10 years ago, and how do you really know if that's a tank from today or from 10 years ago? You don't really know. But I think that the way a lot of us find out, right, is we use social media to kind of like cross-reference and see if it was true or not, or if it was fake or not. And there's a lot of power, when you get 10, 15 people together all posting the same thing. I think more times often than not, it's usually more right than not right, if you're doing the literate media thing.
I want to push back against that, and it's nothing against you. The problem that I have is that you get subject to confirmation bias really, really quickly in this kind of environment, to where if I said, "Oh, this is a T-90 tank and it's from like the 30th Motor Rifle Division," right? I can say that, and then people can like do a little bit of a Google search, and they're like, "Oh, that emblem looks very similar," that kind of thing. Oh, hey, the 30th Motor Rifle Division is just outside of Kharkiv. That can be used as a confirmation bias to where people get on board with this. They're like, oh yeah, we know this now. This is an affirmative thing. But it was actually the 33rd Motor Rifle Division, and we are now having intelligence experts following a trail that is propagated by social media that actually is hurting people in the end, because we're looking at a completely different information based upon a confirmation bias. Confirmation bias cycle. That is a real thing. It has actually happened with actually the 18th motorized division, but whatever.
But Tiberius, what the intel that like military intelligence is using is typically not being driven through social media postings, correct?
It's not. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Is that the primary? No, but it's actually one of the really good things that's popped off for the intelligence services in the last 10 years is that people post a lot of shit. And we've got bots, we've got algorithms that go and they search through all this stuff. Is it a definitive intelligence source? That's up to you. I guess you're kind of your litmus test there. But are people using it? Are intelligence services using it? 1,000% they are.
I'll agree with you there. Like, I do agree that it is used. Like, social media postings are used. I just don't know that if like descriptions of like troop movements or descriptions of like what unit is where is if we're going to be making military decisions based off that information. But I do know what you're saying. We've been tracking ISIS for years off their shit that they've been saying on Facebook and Twitter. So
a little bit, yeah. The one thing that I'll actually post up, and this is I don't know if you guys are gonna like this one. Y'all remember in the first day of the invasion, we heard like it was on the news with the guy on cam. He's like, "Hey, these are Russian paratroopers, and they're literally just outside of Kiev, storming this airfield." Yeah, that's literally the first time the Ukrainian military knew that unit was there. Literally, the media was. I'm not going to say a viable intelligence source, but because of how confused everything was going on day one of the invasion, is that literally the first time the Ukrainian military sees one of their key assets, which is the airport outside of Kiev, getting attacked and taken, or attempted to be taken, they actually repelled the attack, was literally through a newscast. Because the reporters on the ground actually happened to be right outside the area when it happened. And so they literally you see a guy with no helmet on looking at Russian airport forces. It was quite interesting. But on the other side of that, is that the majority of how intelligence is gathered? No, not.
What percentage do you think you lean, like positive, negative?
Real quick, sorry. Okay, go
sorry.
ahead. Answer the question, but after that, I want to throw it to Drummer.
Yeah, sure. How much do I think it is? It's kind of relative depending on like your ability to collect the information. And what we're talking about. If we're talking about the actual military on the ground boot stuff, less than 10%. If you're talking about how the media is able to figure out like how many refugees are actually leaving the country, and you're talking more of the civilian grade stuff, that's like 80%. This is how corporations are actually trying to figure out through the intelligence community that, hey, we've lost 2.5 million refugees have fled from the country. This is how we're able to keep track of actually military grade movements, because military units usually have insignias, whether it's on the side patch or whatever here. Like, I don't want to get too open with this, but I'll put it this way. The amount of information that the civilians can track right now during this invasion is rivaling some intelligence communities in certain countries, particularly like anything that the UK can do right now. Like the intelligence community in the UK, MI6, is rivaling the information detail that civilians are getting because of the internet. It's actually quite impressive.
Drummer, go ahead.
Sure. Just to add to that conversation of talking about using like social media posts, and a lot of times what will happen is accidentally information will get leaked with it. As someone who, for a very brief period of time, served in the reserves, they would tell us all the time about posting on social media and being very mindful of what's in the background of your photo, because it may not necessarily be that I have anything to do with what's going on, but the background of my photo could have like 12 tanks or something, and now that's part of another piece of the puzzle that goes into it of, hey, here's where things are. So like Tiberius is it's a multi-angled thing. Like they'll use multiple sources and stuff like that. So yeah, that actually is something that like just dumb soldiers posting cool photos on their Facebook pages is actually something that can like leak troop movements and stuff like that. So it's like a real thing.
I just want to build on top of that a little bit more. Like, we think that people are very mindful of what they post on social media, like Drummer said, but not like, by that I mean people are taught to be mindful, but not everybody's like that. Think about it. A lot of us just shitpost random ass stuff, and we don't really know what can be used to collect our personal information. Like the photos I take on my camera, I have Bluetooth enabled. Somebody can look into the metadata of that and can probably figure out like the camera that I was using, where I uploaded that image from, maybe even like where I took the photo, if it was connected to Wi-Fi maybe. There's a lot of things that we don't really consider when it comes to us posting onto the internet, and what like the true amount of information that it is dense with that like one composite, that one tweet that we write, you know? It's also another thing we need to consider is that we typically use social media as a public diary. Like, yeah, we might have private accounts or like accounts that nobody knows about, but those accounts are still in effect a diary that represent that one person. And if that one person, let's say, is a comedian who went to Ukraine to help Ukraine citizens and is documenting their experiences. Whatever happens to them, and if they manage to tweet about it before anybody else really learns about it because of an official reporting or a debriefing that had to go on, it's just a matter of pace, because just who you know, if you happen to be at the right place at the right time, knowing the right people, you can get that information first. And just, again, the sheer amount of nodes of connections, the sheer amount of places, the transparency, and the unintended information that we do give out just leads to like social media being a very complex mess of just information. Like the best way to think of it is like if social media was a soup, it just has way too many flavors for one person to really comprehend. So you just got to try and focus on a few to just be able to digest it.
The only thing I'll add to that, just because it did pop into my head, is that there is computer programs that are out there, and I'm not going to say they're common, but if you have a sunspot that comes into your room that's on stream right now, like it's coming through your window, after about 5 minutes, that program can track enough to where just by the position of the sun within your room, it will tell you within about a couple city blocks where you are on the planet. Some of this stuff is actually incredibly viable. Now, granted, I'm going to say that I wouldn't be worried about this. This is something that like intelligence services use, not the average person. But the amount of information that people can put out, even unwillingly, is incredible. Like literally people can figure out certain things about what's going on just from the local background noise. Like they can tell certain birds. It's insane the amount of stuff that is. But granted, I'm hitting more of the higher end stuff. That's what some of the stuff I dealt with. But I know that our good friend Will was wanting to talk, so. Oh, sorry.
No, yeah, I got you. I appreciate you. I just to kind of maybe, I feel like we're kind of in agreement on a lot of this stuff. I was wondering, does anyone disagree with the stuff that Facebook did and Twitch did?
I don't think I
disagree with the exceptions for death threats that Facebook is trying to make, but
I disagree with making exceptions for this shit. Like, if you're going to allow it, just allow it. That's the problem. Like, it's when you start making these carve-outs that the problem occurs, because then what deserves a carve-out, what doesn't deserve a carve-out, when do these carve-outs apply, when do they not apply, and then it's a clear double standard problem, and it's a problem of their own making.
I was wondering, like, is all fair in love and war?
I would agree. Yeah, I would say fucking post whatever you want. Post whatever propaganda you want on social media. I personally, as long as you're not like inciting violence. Actually, you can't even say that with this shit, because then you technically are with a war. So I don't know. Like the line either needs to be drawn or it shouldn't be drawn. That's the whole point, right?
It's not like a Schrodinger's line. I was just saying, like, to sort of simplify Half-Baked Take's point by using very complicated and stupid words. It's like, it shouldn't be Schrodinger's line. It shouldn't be a line that both exists and does not exist. Like, the entire purpose of that analogy is to demonstrate that it's sort of stupid if it's a line that is and is not there at the same time. it should or should not be there, you know? Either have the line or don't have the line. Just don't have a bunch of little fucking doors that occasionally open at random for random people for like as an individual in the micro scale to just have it so willy-nilly, you know? It needs to be something that's fair, equal, and justifiable for everything. There shouldn't be wartime exceptions. It should be the rule and the rule. Yeah, sorry, Will, you were saying?
Real quick, I just want to say we're down 2 guests, and like since like you all seems to be in an agreement, I kind of want to jump in, not to play devil's advocate, but because I truly believe in this. Yeah, I'm not okay with like Facebook loosening the rules on death threats because I don't think that people are clever enough to make the distinction between like Russia army and Russians. I think that I don't understand how I hear people advocate like for like all year long on like how certain rule would be like catastrophic because people wouldn't be able to make the distinction. Like for instance, you wouldn't be okay with people advocating for death threat against like Republicans, for instance, for what happened to January 6th. Or for like there are plenty of shit where like I can take example like this where like I don't know, I don't like this logic. I think that like this leads down to a weird path.
I need to go over this real quick as far as what exactly the rules change were, and I do apologize for that.
No, please, Tiberius, can you actually run through it? Because maybe I misunderstood it.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if I did myself, so I'm just going to pull this one back up.
I think that while you guys are pulling it up, just like philosophically, like Facebook and Twitter and these like social media platforms, they just have so much power built into them just based on like the sheer amount of people that are on them. And I just wonder if kind of like 2022, we just kind of have to deal with the reality of like every future war is going to have a whole aspect of it that takes place on social media forever. So maybe while I don't like calling for death threats for people, you know, maybe that's just kind of how wartime Facebook really does work. You know, we've never seen like wartime social media.
And
that could theoretically be a thing, you know.
If it's serious enough, and if it's a crime within the country that you're like within, like you'll be dealt with, like the proper authorities will deal with you. I just don't like the proper authority isn't Twitter, it isn't Facebook, and it isn't YouTube or Twitch. They're not the ones that should be making these decisions. If you are violating a law by something that you're doing on these sites, you will be, you'll be dealt with. You'll be dealt with by the proper authorities rather than the sites.
My thing is like the town crier, you know, from the 1940s that was on the American, square that was trying to get, people to enlist in the army or whatever. Like that guy has been replaced kind of with Twitter, which I hate. Like, I don't think it's good, but how do we go? Where do we go from here? We got him.
Lemonies.
I think my big issue is like we talked about, or like I said before, how do you even moderate this? Like, how do you make sure? It seems so vague. The whole thing seems so unbelievably vague. You have a couple of countries that are within this like new policy, and it can only be targeted towards Russian military or Putin or Lukashenko, and that's it. But if you target it towards like Russia or Russians in general, because it's like within like the Ukraine context, then it's okay. I mean, I don't know. It seems like extremely, super slippery, slopey, very, very not poggies.
Can I read this real quick? Yeah. So, just this is from a little bit of an official statement excerpt. Okay, Facebook and Instagram will temporarily allow death threats towards Russians and on their platforms in some countries, according to a Thursday report from Reuters. Quote, as a result of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, we have temporarily made allowances for the forms of political expression that would normally violate our rules, like violent speech such as death to Russian invaders. We still won't allow credible calls for violence against Russian civilians, a Meta spokesperson said in a statement outlined in the report. Like, that's number one, incredibly vague, and two, whether I don't like Russia or not, like, that is incredibly poignant to, like, whose side they're taking, how they feel about this. Like, guys, people are dying on both sides of this. Like, I will absolutely shit all over Putin on this one for starting the war. But Russian troops are going to be dying here too. Like, I mean, people, this is war. But if we're going to take a moral stance, why are we taking one side on it?
And let's not forget, a lot of these Russian troops are conscripts. All right, these motherfuckers were tossed into a conflict that they had no want or business fighting. Okay, and I'd be the first one to say, like, okay, fuck, like Tiberius said, like, fuck Putin, fuck like the leadership of this of the Russian government, but that's not where these death threats are going. A lot of these death threats that are getting tossed out there are like death to Russians. Like,
Are they?
Yeah, a lot. There is a lot of just like fuck Russians, death to Russians. That in America we've had like businesses, and I want to say an embassy was in like Ireland was fucking vandalized and like partially fucked up because it was Russian. So again, I personally, I don't think there should be a rule across the board. But if you're going to create a rule at one point, you should probably not like create an exemption for that rule for like a small carve out later on. That's the problem.
Also, just wanted to add, there's no like, I mean, Russia is Russia. Like, basically, there's no way to like express an opinion that is like different from like Putin's opinion. If you say that like Putin isn't perfect, I'm not saying that like Putin is bad. I'm just saying Putin isn't perfect. Like, you might not like say anything else. You might end up being like in prison, poison, or some shit like this. It seems like propaganda. It isn't. There is many cases that have been reported of this shit happening. So yeah, like there's no way in Russia to have like the people's opinion. Therefore, like the only thing that we're going to see concerning Russia is the propaganda that like, or basically what like filtrates out of it. So it's going to be really like biased. Like it's going to be hard to find like find a way to get the pulse of like the Russian people. Therefore, like when people say fuck Russia, it's going to be fuck Russia in general, because you're going to see like all the people with the Z and shit like this. So
yeah. Also, like, this is so counterintuitive. You're like, you should be trying to make the Russian population try and fight against Putin, whatever. I'm sorry. If you're going to like ban someone on OnlyFans from like, showing her yim yams, she's not going to go out and be like, fuck you, Putin. You know what I mean? She's going to be like, no, I want to make money. So it's so stupid. It's so counterintuitive. Hi.
It's basically just like collectivizing both the people and the government. People don't necessarily, the government doesn't necessarily represent its people to begin with. They're just the people that are representative of the nation's bureaucracy. Like, I also come from the viewpoint that the most patriotic thing to do is criticize and want to improve your government. And like, other people have their own versions of patriotism, but you can't deny with the way that like I have it, where it's like you need to criticize your government if you want the government to improve, being the most nationalistic thing to begin with. That means that protesting your government is very nationalistic, but that inherently also means that you and your government aren't the same. So when corporations start attacking the revenue streams for the everyday Russian people, it doesn't just hurt the Russian government. It hurts the actual people that happen to be under the Russian jurisdiction of bureaucracy. So the people that need, the ruble to get their food, to transport themselves to the hospital, to visit family, to get gas or like a refill, whatever the fuck they need, to live their daily lives, like we're sort of preventing them. So if you can find a way to actually target the government, specifically like their oligarchs, and attack them, like literally what some people have been doing is that blowing up Russian oligarch yachts. Like, that is a form of attacking the government and saying fuck you to Russia, and that is not also hurting the Russian people in a weird roundabout way. An actual act of terrorism causes less terror than just a non-terrorist act. It's very messy when it comes to actually fighting a whole being that is it onto itself a concept of nationalism. Yeah, like, we just need to be careful with the negative externalities is what I'm trying to get at.
Hey, Geek. Since we all largely agreed with the original like thesis of like, hey, what's the kind of general role? I can branch this into two if you like. Sorry, can't talk. Put it this way. Go ahead.
Go ahead, because I think you're going to take the direction that I wanted to take. So yeah.
Okay, sure. I just want to put out these two like different pathways that we can take as the panel going forward. Number one is that how do you differentiate between Russia and its citizenry? I remember having this conversation. We were talking about embargoing Cuba. Are we actually hurting the citizens and just people who are innocent bystanders versus when you actually talk about a modern nation state? How much overlap is the citizenry versus the state? The other direction is, if you want to go down this one, is what's not okay. Going more with the original topic, what can you not post on social media? What do you, as a panelist, have a problem with that you find? And Geek, you feel free to pick from those which one you want.
Okay, the last one, but I want to rephrase it a little bit because
sure.
Lemonies, earlier you asked like basically like how can you moderate and stuff like that, but I think that like basically moderation is necessary. Like Twitter was like, I don't know, like for me, like I had access to, like, for instance, short distance radio, like stuff that was happening, like troops talking with each other, like in Ukraine and stuff like that. And I could see information as it was coming. And like by information, I mean like pictures of dead bodies, like shit like this, like dead kids, and all of it was like. So if you consider this, if you consider also like Putin's strategy of like basically spreading propaganda, like stuff like that. He literally has troll farm. This isn't like a rumor and everything. This is something that is part of like his strategy when it comes to social media. So when you consider like the propaganda, the pictures of dead bodies and stuff like that, the fact also that like people post like pictures of like troop movements and everything, which leads to basically soldiers being killed. Where do you place the moderation? How do you like moderation is going to be necessary? Basically, so where do you draw the line? Oh, what's not okay? What's okay and what's not okay? And
is that the question that you're asking?
Yeah.
If I'm okay, is it okay if I begin, or Lemonies? Did you want to go ahead?
Jump.
All right. Where I sort of say is that social media companies and corporations should essentially not say that they promote it. It's sort of like how in sex ed, where it's like the actual act of education isn't necessarily the act of promoting sex itself, and teachers also need to like sometimes specify that so their hands are clean. But that's sort of what the social media companies' role should be when it comes to like gore and all that. Like, to some degree, people are going to be uncomfortable with seeing gore on social media. I mean, again, I use the example of a public diary, and people don't necessarily like show or take photos of gore and post it on their diary. But like, that's a very easy and simple way to comprehend this thing, although it should be sort of kept well hidden. It should be very hard to publicly access. And I mean, when I was going through the whole bombing in Peshawar photos and all of that evidence, there was a lot of dead bodies and people literally dying on film and somehow still miraculously being alive while being totally torn apart. Like, that imagery is not something that should be accessible to like children typically. Like, trauma is good to an extent, but not like that much trauma. It's not something that is necessary to their life. So they should be able to display it, but they should have algorithms that are there to hide it. Like sometimes remove the very, very sick stuff, the ones of people actually enjoying the act of harming other people. That sort of stuff, like, is pretty obvious, and that shouldn't be there. And to sort of build upon, just wrap up my statement, with troop movements, yeah, like it should be that people that are made, it's called, are taught to use social media should be at least taught, all right, there's certain bits of classified information. Like, I understand that you do want to post it because you think it's cool, but think about it. It's only going to hurt those people that you're showing the troop movements of. So if it in the end protects you, like let's say you're a Russian citizen, for some reason you believe all of Russia's the Russian government's propaganda. Maybe posting Ukrainian troop movements is a smart idea. Inversely, it's not smart to post your own side's troop movements because that's bad. But the social media company really shouldn't take a stance on this, because that then means they have a stake in who wins the war, and that makes its own whole complicated mess. Anyways, Lemonies, you had something?
I'm so sorry. I totally had like an ADHD attack. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
I get you.
So, out of curiosity, oh, my bad, drummer. Did you want to go?
It's all good. So unfortunately, I'm super old, so I remember what 4chan was in the early 2000s, and that's an example of complete zero moderation on a social media platform. I don't even think anyone who used that site knew what the word moderator was. So we've already kind of seen what the result of that system is, and while it is, if you want to be a like super champion of free speech, I guess you enjoy it, but if you have any sort of like reasonable like a take of where these things should go, it's probably not the best way to approach it. I think like there are reasonable things you can do to moderate. Like, I know my Twitter account must think I'm 12 because they hide everything telling me it might be offensive. So like, it already does these things, right? Like it's going to cover up videos on Facebook of, hey, this might be sensitive or whatever, or like Facebook does their little like fact check thing where if somebody posts something that's kind of wild, underneath it there'll be a little thing that says like, you might want to take a second look at this. This might not be true. So it's kind of one of those things where I think there is a reasonable level of moderation you can expect, and that there should be. But yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, like if I want to uncover that video of gore or whatever, like I should be allowed to do that. But like the warning should be there, at least, is kind of my point of, I think, the role of social media. Like they can be allowed to warn me all I want, but give me the power to be like, yes, I do want to see that gore because for whatever reason I may want to see it, right? So it's kind of where I stand on that one.
All right, Lemonade. And after
Yeah.
that, we'll go into closing statement.
Yeah, totally. So I kind of really like what YouTube did, again, during the Arab Spring, because what they did back then, they knew that a lot of this information that was coming out and being posted by like people in Syria, for instance, or Egypt at the time, it was necessary information to get out there, even though it was like, you know, gory and sometimes really horrible. But yeah, they had this like caveat, they had this like exception, and I think if it's like within that sort of frame, it's okay. But that's super different from being like, well, violence or calls to violence against people are okay now. Yeah.
All right, and with that being said, we're going to go into closing statements, starting by Will.
Cool. I think that social media platforms should probably use the levers that they have to try to make sure that the right side wins with minimal casualty to the actual people of these countries, because that's always extremely unfortunate. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we've talked this to death.
All right, have big takes.
Yep. Again, it's not the social media sites to be the arbiters of truth. I would end up just being on the side of allowing shit to be posted on their sites, and then we'll sift through the bullshit. We expect adults to sift through the bullshit in every other aspect of their life, so they should probably be able to do it on social media. I'm just upset because Tom Brady's coming back to the NFL.
Tiberius.
I'm of two minds with this personally, and this is why I didn't really make a major definitive statement during the entire talk. Is that on one hand, I do actually favor information control because I see how dangerous information is in the wrong hands. How many people can actually point Ukraine on a map unassisted? Like, I give you a map, it doesn't have countries' names on it. Can you find the damn? That's huge. Like, literacy and having the knowledge to put the pieces together, if you are given information, is incredibly dangerous, because if you don't have the proper information, it can be horrible. So usually I'm more on the blackout side. On the other side of that is I've been having conversations for the last 10 years about, have we experienced the end of privacy on the internet? Because once you start posting stuff, it's really easy to start tying accounts together and figuring out who you are. I can look myself up, and my voting registry's on there. My last address is on there. It's not hard to figure out who Tiberius D is and where I've come from, even with very little information. So when I bleed those two together and I try to make a synthesis out of that, I think what's really going to happen is you're going to see a lot of people openly taking sides, whether it is individual users or particularly platforms. And I think the direction is going to be platforms, is that they're going to basically control the narrative. If a platform is pro-Russian or anti-Russian, they get to decide that for themselves, and basically their users are along for the ride. Excuse me. I don't know if I like that, but I think that's where we're headed.
All right. Drama.
All right, so I'll run it down with all the topics real quick, I guess. Streamer awards, kind of cringe. Streamer Survivor, pretty based. When it comes to social media, yeah, unfortunately, as Tiberius kind of touched on, like, there's some sad realities we have to come to terms with of the way that social media works, the way the internet's just going to be interacted with, and it's up for you as an individual to kind of decide how to deal with that. Promote media literacy, and the best way to do it is to, like, go outside, touch grass, meet real people, and get better, just make better connections than just randoms on the internet that may or may not be bots.
All right. Gender juice.
Long story short, my my whole thing is treat the internet sort of like a very public diary, and I feel like that's going to be the best way to sort of understand what's going on, the best way to communicate people. Like, it is in a sense a public square for like free speech, blah blah blah, but in the end that's not actually what it is there for, and that's not what people really use it for. People use it like a very public diary, and that's it. It's like a scrapbook if you think about it, and that's it in and of itself is also a very useful tool. Imagine like a parent looking in their child's diary. Like, yeah, it's an invasion of privacy, but if this one's public, it's really not. So you get all the benefits of looking into a person's mental state, their personal lives, and what's going on with their lives, without the very unnecessary complications of them realizing, oh, that's the person that now knows all this. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, Lemonies.
Yeah, so I mean, as we all agree, it's a really, really complicated. It's really hard to be like, okay, you know, it's everything shouldn't be moderated or should be moderated. It's kind of hard, right? I kind of agree with Tiberius. I fall like in between. I've seen like it's been a good thing, again in the context of the Arab Spring, but later on, I think it's been kind of sussy with fake news and the Russian farm bots, whatever you call them. So yeah, it's a tricky one.
All right. And with that being said, I don't think I forgot anyone. So let's jump into the next topic. But before that, I just wanted to thank you all for being here and to say welcome to Frames and Binks, who are joining us tonight. How are you doing?
What's up, my beautiful babies? How's it going?
Frames, how are you, buddy?
All right, before we jump into
I'm
the
here.
last...
Sorry.
Before we jump into the last topic, I just wanted to say again, thank you all for being here. So everyone in everyone's chat, go follow our wonderful panelists. Frames, Bings, quick intro.
I'm the guy who comes in when a conservative leaves, and you need a quick replacement.
Frames?
Yeah. I'm Frames. I stream on twitch.tv/Frames. We do panels. Also, if you're a wrestling fan, I do wrestling content over on YouTube at the Turnbuckle Tavern. We have podcasts 5 days a week. Check that shit out. That's pretty much it. I keep disappearing because there's always shit going on in my personal life, so hopefully that shit's about to calm down some. We'll see.
Hope everything is going well. Sorry. With that being said, let's jump into the last topic, which is, what's your hottest food take? Pineapple on pizza, microwave cheesecake, steak for breakfast. All right, get it with us. And with that, I'm going to start with. All right, Tiberius.
You know it was going to be me. All right, I think we've done this enough that we know what my hottest thing is that deep dish pizza is the pizza to be. I know that seems to be something that really irks everybody in the crowd. But if you're from the Midwest, you know what real pizza is. And I'm happy to have you on the team.
This topic is going to be difficult for me. Will, go ahead.
I guess my hot take is that any Mexican food that you get not basically within about 30 miles of the border is just not real Mexican food.
All right. We got a hipster over here. Lemonies.
I guess mine is like, I hate like gourmet versions of food. Like if you have poutine and then someone comes around and makes like gourmet poutine, it's never going to be the same, and it's never the same. So yeah, that's, I guess, my hot take, but I think it's pretty reasonable.
All right. Half-baked take.
All right, I am from the Midwest, so most of you will not understand this, but walking tacos are better than normal tacos. And if you don't know what that is, it is when you take a small Dorito bag, you fill that with all the things you would put into a taco, and then you eat it out of the Dorito bag like a savage. That is my hot take.
Okay. Frims?
Oh, okay. I'll give my take without trying to lash out at everyone else first. My hot food take is so fucking monumental, but that Mr. Geek used it in his fucking introduction. And my take is that cheesecake is overrated to begin with. But also, shut the fuck up. Hey, you can't talk, right? This is my time. Mute him, Mr. Geek, before I go any further. Thank you. Not only is it overrated, but it's better microwave than it is cold.
What are we
I'm
talking
going to
about?
let that one sink in.
Oh my god.
Well, my hot food take is a New Jersey specific food hot take. The correct term is Taylor ham. It's not pork roll. That's just wrong. Taylor ham, egg and cheese. That's the only way you can have it.
All right. Binks?
I don't think there's anyone from Texas, so I don't know if it's going to affect anyone, but I hate Whataburger. It's hot garbage, and it's fucking bullshit. And the entire state can get fucked. I hate that restaurant.
What a burger.
Wow, I love it.
Pissed off so many people.
True. Hey, you
ready.
know what? I got to visit Texas last year back in November. I'm gonna second that. It's literally just another McDonald's. Like fucking
Exactly.
hell. It's not.
I'm glad I wasn't impressed. Other people weren't as impressed by it.
God damn.
Man, it's
This is the thing though. I'm from Louisiana, so it's like having your next door neighbor just talk about how good their food is all day, every fucking day.
Wait.
Way to
sorry.
go, Binks. Agreeing with the Midwesterners. Jesus.
I'll take it. Beats Texas.
All right. Gender juice.
All right. Sorry. Can you just restate the question?
What's your
Food hot take.
hottest? Yeah.
Oh, so what's my foodist hot take? All right. Does it have to be like hot food hot take? Because if it does, I guess my hot food hot take would be honestly
Just food
burgers
takes.
are okay. So just regular food hot takes. Perfect. So in my opinion, food's sort of overrated. This is gonna sound weird, but in my opinion, I can live my entire life off of a literal paste of just nutrition and I would be fine. The only time that I'd go out of my way to get like any form of fast food, if I even gave a shit about fast food at that point, I would just like go to some local restaurant instead of going to some like well-known fast food place that I can get basically anywhere across the world that sells exact same product but just with ever so slightly different flavorings, all right? If I'm just drinking like a nutrient supplement, that's gonna be fine. If I'm having my mom's cooking, all right, that's like a good reason not to have a nutrient supplement. But for my everyday, daily life, going to work, coming back, living life in general, no, I just want the blandest, most basic thing. So anytime that I think it's worthy for me to actually have a meal and like eat something solid, something that has flavor and aroma, then whatever I have is gonna be either really fucking good or absolute garbage. And I can have the value of telling you it is literally worse than having something that tastes like nothing every day for the rest of your life. And that's how bad whatever I'm eating is, all right? It's both just practicality and makes the eventful days a little bit more eventful. Yeah. That's a hot take, all right?
All right.
Hot food hot take.
Oh my god.
CTV.
Freems, you're off the hook. Freems, you're off the hook. I'm officially
Yeah, I was gonna say.
nominating Gender Juice as
All right, you can
LVP of the
engage.
panel.
Ginger Juice, will you pour some of that water on your head so I can see if you're a robot?
Hey, man.
Also, real quick,
Go eat your bland.
I didn't mean to pour it.
also, real quick,
That's
what's
called
up,
karma.
CTV, you sexy motherfucker?
True.
So
Welcome back,
Freems.
CTV.
You wasn't here when I got here, so I had the.
Hmm.
Usually, I get a really warm welcome from CTV.
Hmm. Fuck you, Freems. Okay.
Oh, the love is in the air.
I've been having fucking network issues. I've been having like, I swear to God, right? I'm dealing with like the worst of Russia's fucking cyber terror team right now. Okay, they're getting their ass kicked. Rest assured, because I'm still here, right? But I'm battling the whole fucking team, and then this fucking orange-haired fucking asshole just has to be fucking recognized because the alpha walks in the room. I understand, Freems. Fuck you. Okay.
No, I was recognizing you coming into the room. Okay, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
Gender Juice isn't the only robot in this chat, right?
I was gonna say, CTV, can you pour some water on your head real quick so I can see if you're a robot? Okay. Real quick, if you're from the
I gotta ask,
Midwest,
though, with the
move.
microwave cheesecake, Freems, do you mean like
Freems.
like warming it up a little bit, or like hot cheesecake?
No,
I
you
really
warm
need
it
to
up a
know.
little. You warm it up a little bit. Really, the real way to say it is warm cheesecake is better. And warm cheesecake isn't unheard of. Like there are warm cheesecakes, just people don't realize it. It's just better. People think that it just turns into soup. People are like, "Oh, do you got to put it in a bowl and all this shit?" Like, no, it holds its shape pretty well. Like it's not like it doesn't just turn into soup. You know what I mean?
Cheesecake's
When you
garbage.
prefer room
across the board.
temperature, hey, I prefer room temperature cheesecake over cold or even hot cheesecake.
You don't even like
But this
food.
is
Yeah, you don't like food, Ginger Juice. Shut
I
up.
was gonna say I'm also a person that's just very ambivalent to just having.
Ginger Juice is like, I like my cheesecake room temperature, no flavor. Preferably just made from nutrient paste.
Ginger Juice saw those people in Wally with who eat the paste and was like,
But
that looks pretty good.
Okay, but consider my philosophy for food for just a second, all right?
No,
It's like the
no,
philosophy
no.
of suffering. It's just like when you have a lot of nothing, when you have that something, you want that something to be good. And if it's a good something, it's going to have a more beneficial psychological impact of goodness to you. All right. Your standards are going to be very same, flat throughout. But if it's good, it's really good. If it's bad, it's really bad. It's like just a standard of zero. Being very low.
Have you ever heard that? Tried to make this point, and
I know.
Have you ever heard of that? To make this point at the start, okay? And we don't need to take that advice across the board.
Have you ever heard the phrase, it's better to have loved than to never love at all?
Hey, Frames, do you actually consider yourself a Midwesterner?
No.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, I said if you live in the Midwest, move, and that's coming from someone who lives in West Virginia, all right?
Yeah, I know, like, your opinion shouldn't fucking matter here, dude.
What's Midwest? What is
That's where the
that?
tornadoes live.
We group West Virginia into that shit. If
Yeah,
Ohio
you guys
gets
may group us.
into
You guys
it-
may group us in with it. We don't.
Well, then West Virginia just gets left out on its own. It's a fucking island.
Yeah, but people who are from West Virginia love talking about how they're from West Virginia. So that
True. Hey, how's it feel being from the same state as Suspect Sushi?
proud. He's a proud boy.
It's the 47th dumbest state in the union. All right, doesn't mean you
listen,
can talk shit about us.
What's wrong with Suspect Sushi?
Can you still buy Everclear in West Virginia?
No, not the hot proof stuff. You can get 151 Everclear.
Oh,
But listen, I make alcohol for a living. I make whiskey, bourbon.
nice.
So I can get whatever proof I want. But
Moonshine.
Unfortunately, you can't mail to New Jersey because the state sucks when it comes to that. But no,
we sell in New Jersey.
Oh, you can't mail to it, right? Because I couldn't get wine.
No,
mailed
you
to
can go to Total Wines and buy it
Nice.
in Jersey. Yeah.
I wish I wrote
When
down
I was
some
in
of these
college in
garbage
regular
food takes.
Virginia, we used to send someone to West Virginia to get us Everclear. So
Did you
Yeah,
say
you
Binks?
I said I wish I wrote down some of these garbage food takes. I want to know what if you have one though, Geek.
Anchovies on pizza is the best pizza.
Yep, that's a garbage take.
Wait, what?
No.
I
Here's
will
the
defend
garbage
it to the
take.
death. Tomato based
you
on the
say, Geek?
pizza.
You said anchovies on pizza is the best pizza.
Hey, look, at this rate, I'll let the Russians kick your French ass. I don't need to do it for me, or I don't need to do it
Jesus
myself.
Christ, dude, chill. Raise a hand real quick. And this is
My nutrient-based option doesn't seem that bad now, does it? Huh?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
Don't
does.
Yeah,
let
it
it until you try it.
I wanted to take worse than mine.
Listen, you
real
considerate
quick,
fat people,
oh, God.
like, chill the fuck out. You live in the US. Your food takes don't matter anyway. Like, you don't
In
have
Geek's
real
defense.
ingredients.
in Geek's defense. Raise your hand if you've had anchovies on pizza before.
I haven't, so I can't talk shit on it.
Yeah,
Can't even-
That tastes
Dude,
better.
talking shit is never even.
Dude, Wait. For real, I can't be in the same fucking room as an open thing of anchovies. Are you kidding me, my dude?
Yeah, they're awful.
So you're a pussy.
It's cooked. It's like cooked. It's not like raw.
No,
It's
no,
like
we
I
don't-
start
we don't-
throwing
I
up
don't
just
wanna put-
being in the smell vicinity of anchovies.
Yeah,
Like, what are you talking
wait,
about?
hold on. Everybody shut the fuck up! TV, shut the fuck up! Who was shitting on WV? What the fuck is this?
Geek, you shit on West Virginia all the
See how
time.
that happened? You see how that happened? Anybody else will tell me shut the fuck up? Anybody else? Anybody
Hey.
else?
WV?
I'll fucking
Hey,
do it
hey,
again.
All right.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Any fucking body else?
You gotta cam up
Now,
at least, Geek.
I gotta
Whoa.
now.
No. I got a
Keep fucking doing it.
What the hell is going
Keep
on?
fucking doing it. Now, Freems, I don't want to put that kind of negative connotation on pussy. Okay, for Tiberius, right? I find pussy to be a very positive thing.
True.
As a matter of fact, it's the toughest fucking material on this planet. Okay, because it'll
Okay.
just take a licking and just keep on ticking. Now, that said, the right term is Buddha. Okay, there you go.
I agree. We'll go with that.
Bro,
Sorry.
wait.
Sorry to offend you, CTV.
I'm offended. Listen, WV's the best. We have pepperoni rolls. We have moonshine. Nobody else can say these kind of things.
What the
What
fuck
the
is
fuck?
WV?
Best.
West
fucking
Fucking
Virginia.
best.
You fucking
Huh?
bullshit. You bullshit
What?
artist. I literally had to
I
write a
would
letter
never
about how.
bullshit.
No, shut the fuck up. I literally had to write a letter about how bad you shit on West Virginia.
Okay,
Nah,
shit
this
on
is
West
fake news.
Virginia
This
so
is
fucking
fake
much.
news.
So
Freems.
fucking much.
It's on the Bastia News
Holy
Network.
shit, we're the best. What are you
Yeah, I can
talking
link
about?
it.
I had
It's
it.
on the
I had it.
Bastia-
No,
it's
no,
on the
no,
Bastia
no,
News
don't link
Network.
bullshit. No. This is fake news. If I ever heard myself,
Bullshit
okay?
artist. You're a
Listen,
bullshit
bro.
artist.
No, I would never. Listen, I just.
Nobody was
hopped
even
on here
talking
to
shit.
bullshit.
You frail little boy.
All right, I want
Fight
to open
me,
it back
friend.
to everyone else.
Fight me.
Is Arby's good?
Yes.
No.
Define good. I mean, it's edible.
Is it quality fast food? Is it quality fast food?
Oh,
We-
no,
Okay,
no, no,
it's fast food,
we
so we're
expect
gonna
a
need
certain
to.
shittiness of it.
Yeah.
Does Arby's qualify as good fast food?
It's not as good as
No,
Whataburger.
it's like
you fucks.
mediocre among the mediocre.
Not saying much.
Arby's is trash.
Yeah, the honey
Wendy's
butter
sucks.
chicken biscuit from Whataburger. God
How
damn.
dare you?
Go to Wendy's,
Their
$5
curly
Big
fries.
Mac. That's the
Best in the
shit.
game.
Dude,
Rather
what'd you
go to
say?
Tim Hortons.
Wendy's
Wendy's?
sucks so much.
Dude, Wendy's does suck.
Get
Dude,
out of
it's
here.
like it tastes so horrible. You know what's really good? Chipotle.
True.
That's true.
That's like
Oh,
that's like on a different
Hey.
kind of level.
Hot take. Chipotle is good. Calm down.
Binks, do you like Wendy's?
No, I hate Wendy's. I don't know why
Yeah,
everyone likes
Wendy's
it so much.
sucks. Fuck
What about
Wendy's.
Wendy's nuts bounce off your forehead?
God damn it.
Baited!
Alright.
Speaking of baited,
Okay.
Every time.
Every time.
that's hilarious. I feel like the only reason why people really go to Wendy's nowadays is because the weird femdom association they
Okay,
have
Place
with like
Boy.
the whole. All right,
What am I listening to
enjoy
right
the
now?
Food paste,
And why?
But at least food paste is reliable. all
Would you
right?
like Wendy's better if we blended it up so you could drink it? Jesus.
Honestly,
Frosty have you
it
down.
probably would be tasting better.
He wants the food
I
from
like
Wally.
my juices.
Also, real quick, by show of hand, who's had microwave cheesecake?
But I have
I
to
thought-
now.
Nobody.
warm
you
cheesecake.
sicko.
Thank you.
Nobody.
Okay.
Babe, Half Bake has
Later,
actually
you
said
take
something
that
good. I love it. Will you? Will at least one person on this panel do me a favor and try it and give me
Yes.
your
I
feedback?
have.
I'll
I
try.
have. I
Thank
feel
you.
like Mr. Food Paste has, alright? I've tried a lot of things to come to this conclusion. My second hottest food take is literally get oatmeal cookies and then eat them with salsa. It is surprisingly
Can you just stop talking, Ginger? Jesus
What?
Christ.
Yeah, I'm usually not
Alright.
against.
oatmeal
like,
chocolate chip cookies dunked in salsa.
Are you trolling? Stop it.
I am not trolling.
You son of a
It's
bitch.
really good. I
Why? Why?
Try it
You
yourself.
don't like food, and then
You
you're like,
probably
oh,
have.
You know what's delicious if you take an Oreo and put it in
I
the
like
toilet.
my mom's food. I'm saying I have a very high standard for good food and for good junk food. All right.
Yeah,
I'm just
plus Alex
saying,
did
if I
that,
want to
buddy.
waste my time
Yeah, I
seeking
really
out
like
any
fucking rice
flavor,
cakes.
I
I'm a
want
big fan of
the-
rice cakes with nothing on them. That's my favorite.
Hey, I'm saying
down,
nutrient
Gender.
paste. I didn't say that nutrient paste had no flavor at absolutely all. I'm saying like if I were given the option, I would have nutrient paste, no texture, just the exact same flavor for fucking ever, and occasionally have something good in my life. All right,
This is psychotic.
it's like. It's psychotic, but it's a good psychotic for once. All right.
Now he's waving a kunai around. I don't know what. It's just getting worse.
Right. I
How do you
poured
keep
water on my.
digging yourself- Gender, how do you keep digging this hole deeper? You fucking started at 6 feet and
Okay,
you've
God,
just kept digging.
Real
This
quick,
is bad
Oh
platforming.
man, I
Geek.
can
Can
go
you, like,
deeper. All right.
Can you bring on a neo-Nazi or something? Because we need to turn this down a little bit better.
I'm
This- this
technically
is
a
bad
Discord
platform.
fashion.
We can
Real
make
quick,
loud
I want
over
to talk to someone from the
You
app.
ate up like
Okay, okay,
Rogue
okay,
Man
okay,
did
okay.
against Chud.
real quick, before
At
we
least I can take a joke.
French.
Oh,
Oh,
we?
sorry.
All right. First of all, congratulations. Usually I have to use that like 3 or 4 times by topic. Tonight was pretty chill, so thank you for that. But like, I just wanted to say something because I think that like one of you got away way too easily with that take, which I think is way worse than like the oatmeal cookie in salsa. The dip dish take. What the fuck is that, Tiberius?
It's not even pizza.
It is pizza, and it is delicious. And you know what? Whenever you get over here to America, Geek, I will personally buy you a large deep dish pizza with whatever the fuck you want on it, and we'll call it even.
Isn't that
Here's the thing: deep dish pizza it's good, it's fine, but like, it's not the best pizza. But not even close.
Calzone's a better pizza.
Yeah, if I wanted a casserole, I would just like eat a casserole. Like I'll just stick to getting pizza.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry, excuse me. You know what the best thing about good food is? More good food, okay? If you want to call it a casserole, you can. I don't give a shit. I take a pizza, which is usually pretty delicious, and I make it thick. And I make it into basically a pie. And if someone has a problem with it, well, guess what? Then just don't move to the Midwest, and we'll be good.
Wait, Tiberius, do you eat it with a spoon?
You can't if you wanted to.
Like, how do people eat it?
Yeah, like you're supposed to eat it.
Imagine this.
Actually,
Take a pizza
no.
with a spoon.
For real though, if you want my actual opinion, the difference between a good deep dish and a bad deep dish is one that you can actually still eat with your hands. Because there's a lot of deep dish pizzas out there. Yeah, they're good, but you got to eat it with a fork. If you can still actually pick it up and it stays together in that way, that's a really good deep dish.
Listen, I went to Panera Bread in Chicago once. I got a bread bowl with tomato soup and walked out with it. And someone was like, "Hey, where'd you get that pizza?"
Oh, shut the fuck up, Preems. You're a lying sack of shit.
But like honestly,
you would never go to Panera anyway. Don't lie to us like that. What the fuck?
Why would you go to Panera Bread? Yeah, that was the first thing in my mind.
To begin with, you just got.
It's actually not bad.
Do you still have that spoon?
I got my poop spoon.
What?
Do you still have that spoon?
No.
Wah, wah. Okay.
God damn it! Are you guys just like bringing in all my villains? Is that
2019 greatest hits of Twitch politics?
I feel like Batman right now, going against all my fucking enemies right now. You got on Geek with Glasses and Doghouse Show. What the fuck?
No, actually, what this is, I'm actually Batman, right? And you're actually Joker free. So we're bringing in all your random assortment of condiment kings.
Poke it off,
man. Real quick.
Riddle me this, friend.
Okay.
Doghouse Show. It's a joke.
No. Okay. Doghouse, how are you doing?
I just want to come in and tell Freems how wrong he was and that he's still my arch nemesis. I don't. What'd you find?
It's the brass tag I used to wear in the coal mine so they could identify my body if they found it.
A winky face.
Wow, made me feel like an asshole. Okay, not all conservatives are assholes. Jesus, I have a heart. I'm not the Tin Man. All right, Jesus.
Didn't he get a heart at the end of that film?
Doghouse, do you think women should be allowed to drink whiskey?
Oh, this man. The A4 Andre memes are real. Okay. We got the OG memes. We're not gonna go there tonight. We good. I think everybody can drink whiskey. Okay, there's no fault with the whiskey. You know.
Good to see you can be moved on things.
All right, so that guys, what's your hottest food take?
Just
hot food take?
Yeah.
That
drink whiskey.
That a pizza's a sandwich.
God damn.
What?
Okay. Sandwich.
What? How do you define sandwich, sir?
Yeah, how do you define a sandwich?
Well, I was gonna say is a fajita taco, but you know that's a whole nother topic. Is a fajita taco?
If you put it in a tortilla,
don't pivot. I want to know your. I want to know your definition.
Well, you see,
sandwich.
if you like, I mean, you could also say a taco is a sandwich because if you like fold the pizza, now you got bread on top, bread on bottom, and then you got the filling in the middle. If you fold it, but if you don't, then it's probably still a pizza.
Yeah, literally no one folds it.
You fold it.
I don't think
so. Blend it and I make it into a paste.
So,
is that
calzone?
still a sandwich?
It's like a calzone.
If you what? If you blend it?
If I just put it into a blender, like the tops and bottoms,
then that's spaghetti.
The exact same thing. But okay,
I wouldn't be spaghetti.
Wait, no, that's
everything is everything.
Yeah, but everything together.
Yeah, I'm tired of all these fucking food anarchists over here. Okay, there's fucking rules.
Nutrient paste
there's a reason we have rules.
Here.
Nutrient paste, Jesus fucking.
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with nutrient paste.
When you think about spaghetti, you have the tomato sauce, you have the cheese, and you have usually a carb. Even in this place, it'd be the bread. So when you blend up a pizza, you got spaghetti.
So is spaghetti just chunky nutrient paste?
It's got nutrients. Everything's got nutrients. So technically, a smoothie would be a nutrient paste. So yeah, sure, we can call it a nutrient paste.
Okay, I just had like I might have smoked too much before this, but like if we're working our way backwards, if we're working our way backwards through this, technically speaking, isn't everything a nutrient paste?
You're creeping me out, dude.
Degree of
Conversation, please stop.
You're sitting there fucking stone petting a stuffed Bulbasaur talking about nutrient paste. It's fucking weirding me out, alright?
Alright, I puked like halfway through this like, live stream. I went on stream, puked, came back, we're talking about this, and I got on to nutrient paste. I'm so sorry, go ahead.
Gemma, go.
Just like
There's a lot
DMT we're smoking back there?
Somebody. Speaking of Pokemon, if anyone
right
actually,
now?
oh my god! Speaking of Pokemon, if anyone actually plays Pokemon Go still, let me know.
Hey,
No,
I
I
got
know
you.
the
I'll play.
polls.
Not DM me.
I play Pikmin.
Oh yeah.
Pokemon Go get some better food takes. How about that?
Yeah.
Cool, stuck in an island. Do you have tuna? or
Pokemon go to the
sardines?
polls.
You can only have one
I
of the
remember
two.
when I played Pokemon Go in 2016.
Pokemon Go get
Pokemon
some
Go is
bitches.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather play Pokemon Go than get bitches.
Okay, we already got this debate. All right. Okay. No ending statement.
That's a
All right,
no
done,
word.
Done. Ending statement. All right, Lemonies, go.
I didn't have the hottest take.
Wait, final statement?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
And outros too, huh, Geek?
Yeah.
Oh, can I just do outros? I have no more to say about. Wait, actually, Jenna Juice, you must love tofu, right?
Occasionally. I can't have the almond types or anything that's made of a nut that grows from a tree. Otherwise, I start choking up.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just guys. I really have to poop. I pooped 7 times already today, and I need to. Poop. Yeah, I know it's not good. I have a fever actually.
Fucking base.
Well, that dispels that myth, don't it, boys?
Well, you need to get a poop spoon. Then we have to leave streaming.
The illusion.
Anyway, my name is Lemonies666. I have no followers on Twitter, so that'd be pretty dope. If you could check that out. Yay! And I'm new on Twitch, so if you could check me out, that would be pretty danky.
All right.
Oh, I should probably also say what we talk about. So I'm Arab, Middle Eastern, and on my stream we talk about kind of topics related to the Middle East and history, and yeah. So if you're into that, come check it out.
All right. Will.
Hey. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this food thing anymore. That was a really fun topic, though. Will, you can find me on YouTube. Will and his channel do kind of politics stuff sometimes, but it's usually creative stuff. I had a great time being here. Follow me at Will and his 280. Thanks.
All right. Gemma.
Okay, first of all, unfortunately, Tiberius, the only real pizza comes from New York, nowhere else.
True.
Italy. What the hell? Sorry.
No, tomatoes don't even come from Italy. They came from America. So pizza's a product of America. Other than that, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. It's Drummer122. It's a lot of fun. Think you'll like it. Talk about media literacy and current events. So it's a lot of fun being on here. Thanks to everyone. So it's a good time.
Happy to have you on board. Frims.
I feel like I ruined Jarrell's party from making bad jokes. So sorry, Geek. I'm only a little bit sorry, but sorry nonetheless. So I can give a closing statement on food takes, right? Because the anchovy take the Geek had was good. Everyone who disagrees with him is full of shit. And if you don't like it, I just feel like you haven't tried it. I could be wrong. If you raised your hand and you said it was bad, I feel like you're a liar, but we'll see. The Whataburger take is also fucking incorrect. And the only people who agreed with it was Binks and the Midwesterners, so I'll let it pass. It is what it is. Wait, you like Whataburger, Doghouse?
I'm from
Texas.
Texas. What the fuck?
You were not here.
You see how they are?
About Whataburger.
Yeah, it's implied. If you're from Texas, you like Buc-ee's and Whataburger. Jesus.
There we go.
Hey,
it's good. It's good. I agree. It's good. I like Whataburger. It's good. And yeah, microwave cheesecake, good. Try it. You'll like it. what was the other thing that pissed? And fucking Ginger Juice, you fucking scare me. Not a lot of people on Twitch have scared me. You've done that today. Congratulations. I don't know. I'm gonna pray for you later. I'm not even a Christian. So I don't know. Just do better. Oh, and also CTV, I love you so much. Platonically.
Mm.
And
Until you blast up them Speedo pictures, then maybe more, but you know.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's true.
Understandable.
It is those are incredible.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/frames. You know where to find them. And what's your YouTube channel for your wrestling content?
Oh, for the wrestling thing. If you're a wrestling fan, go check out the Turnbuckle Tavern. We do live streams and we do podcasts, so
That's pretty
we stream on Twitch too, but it's mostly on YouTube.
Nice. So, Abarius.
For closing out for this particular conversation, the only way that you can get a really, really bad pizza is the great state of New York. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you all don't know how to do pizza for shit. Fuck you. When it comes to everything else, I do appreciate you guys having me on this panel. I'm Tiberius D. I studied in economics, political science. I do a lot of geopolitics shit whenever I can, or I'm hosting the Mascot Podcast, which is about to go live here in about 40 minutes over on my channel. So if that is interesting to you, our good friend Doghouse has been there quite a number of times. We'd love to have you back here soon. We've got Counterpoint,
right.
Samantha Banana, Osiris, and many others that will be joining us tonight. Probably Internax is going to be stopping by. So if y'all miss him, he should be hanging out with us tonight, or at least that's what he told me just a little while ago. So without further ado, come check us out. I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a good show. I've done it.
Dughouse.
My name is Frames TV. I stream at Dylan Burns TV on Twitch. And I do my annual stream. I do one stream per year. I try to limit it to one stream. You know, it makes me more what is it called when you limit the content? You know, people want to flutter to it, so I figured one per year. No, it's called I have a family and a child, so I don't really stream as much as I used to. I am an OG. I'm original member of the Mayo 6. I'm an original member of the OG group of Twitch. Frames has that title. Tiberius has a title. A few others in here have that title. CTV, Mr. Geek, all of those people. Been around for quite a while. I have the best. Well, I'm in the Hippy Dippy Champions presence, but I've got a pretty good conservative takes here. Maybe not the best entertainment, but I got some good conservative takes on Twitch. Probably some of the best if you've heard them. So, anyways, I'm the Doghouse Show.
Always happy to have you. Have Baked Take.
I'm Half Baked Takes. Thank you again to the Hippy Dippy crew. All you panelists, it was a pleasure talking to you. Anybody that was shitting on Midwestern food has not been to the Midwest. Don't listen to them. They are full of shit.
All right. CTV.
You guys hear that?
No.
It's a low chant right now. And it's rising. It's rising. It continues to rise. It's the cry of the people for how fucking lame Doghouse was on his fucking outro. Conservative takes? You shitting me? Every time I talk, you sound like a fucking communist. All right? Good Lord. Tiberius shouting out the Mask Off podcast. I mean, if you're looking for B-tier entertainment, that's where you can find it.
Nothing wrong with BTR.
Jumping in here. Dude, it looks like you got slapped on the head by a fucking Kool-Aid packet. What happened to your fucking hair, bro?
I don't know, man. I woke up like this.
I'm just saying I like it, but that's what it looks like, okay? I like it, but that's what it looks like. And Binks. Fucking look at Binks. This fucking guy. How's somebody gonna have one color fucking facial hair and another color hair on top of their head? That's some unique shit.
That's a question for God, not me.
I like it.
Oh, thanks.
You know what? I would recommend the extra soft Charmin lemonies. I would recommend the extra soft Charmin and maybe even look into some preparation H. Okay? Maybe. Yeah. And with that said, you can find me over in the Wolf's Den in the Infinity Acre Wood, twitch.tv/critically thinking veteran. I'm sitting there usually hosting the Sunday or co-hosting the Sunday show with Mr. Geek. Mr. Geek had some technical issues during the show. I'm telling you, man, I'm about to take some shit and just throw it in the fucking yard right now. I'm telling you, like it's going to be spectacular, the mess that gets made. Anyway, thank you all for being here tonight. And if I gave you shit, you should feel special. And if I didn't give you shit, then give me a reason to give you shit.
Biggs.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance. I couldn't find a place to say this, but I went to Five Guys the other day, and it cost $20 for a burger and fries. Like literally $20. It's insane. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that was good. That was fun. You can follow me at Twitch, /Binks_BB. I do a live DVD commentary podcast with Biggs every Monday. You can check that out of Teen Wolf. We just watch Teen Wolf over and over again and do the same, analyze the scenes better every time. So thanks for having me on.
All right, Gender Juice.
Oh, well, it seems like I'm the most controversial figure here, and I did not expect that to happen. People don't usually gang up on me unless it's like for a porno, but I get paid for that. Anyways, so to just wrap up the food take thing, honestly, although I am Mr. Nutrient Paste here, get your juices in, like, seriously, try it. Oatmeal chocolate chip cookie with salsa is surprisingly good, and hey, what can I say? My mom makes really fucking good food, and if I don't want much besides that, can you really blame me? I've had a lot of like other people's food, and I've had a lot of fast food, and it's usually not good. But hey, nutrient paste, at least that way I know I'm not starving, and if I want to have an orange, that at least makes it so I get all my vitamins, minerals, proteins in as ethically as possible, as fast as possible, and then I can peel an orange, maybe drink some water, drink some coffee.
I think you got muted for hate speech. This wasn't me.
Thank
I think
God.
it was Discord.
Thank you, Mr. Geek.
No, it wasn't even me. I'm sorry. Listen, must be Danabo.
I know who it was.
I'm blaming Danabo.
See, attacking me, all right, just because I'm like your radical person here who's not even coming with a hot take.
Listen, I'm not doing it. I just want to say
the hot take is how you've been losing the fight with the Razor this past week.
I'm gonna try. But you're right. All right.
Yeah.
I should just finish up. I got pretty good hot takes. Most of my conversations and points come out from a point of being very uncomfortable and very raw, all right? Like the nutrient paste, all right? I swear, I'm not shilling my own nutrient paste, which is coming out within the next 3 months, all right? Pre-order with my username. I'm kidding. No, but yeah, just like, I guess follow me. If you want to see something interesting, you want to see something weird, you want to see something a little bit fun and freaky, I'm back, baby, and I'm ready to attack.
All right. And with that being said, I think that concludes this episode of Hippy Dippy Recruitment. Thank you everyone for being here. And you can all report Gender Juice for hate speech, for his food take, I would understand. And yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And scene.